This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
The Custard Splat podcast, whatever that is.
We're in.
Hello and welcome back.
You just deliberately played the guitar there.
Well done.
Did you not hear that?
No.
There was a little like...
For fuck's sake, we have to start
no,
again
it's
there.
in. No, it's in.
Well, hello and welcome back to the brand new and improved Custard Splat podcast.
Yeah, I mean,
Sponsored by TalkSport.
absolutely nothing's new. Can
No.
completely guarantee you that neither of us are going to improve.
As you can tell.
But yeah, there's been a little bit of a rebrand, a restructure. Absolutely nothing changes for the listener. All 12 of
Well,
them.
no, there is the adverts now.
Oh, right, yeah.
So apologies for that.
Apologies, you've got a little 30-second advert, couple of TalkSport adverts, and a McDonald's advert. That's the only thing that changes from your listening experience.
But it means we haven't got to pay to do it now. So that is
Yeah, it does.
touch.
Should we do the little boring bollocks and waffle bit, get it out of the way? It's going to... shall I sum it up in like 20, 30 seconds?
Go on,
It's not going to cost you any money to listen to us, but it's also now not going to cost me and Farms any money to produce it. There were certain things over the last 4 years that we were funding out of our own pocket, not expecting the world's smallest violin.
Not a lot though, in fairness, but
No, it wasn't a lot,
yearly
but it was obviously stuff that we had to fund, like little things like paying for the theme song and all stuff like that, and we had to pay to host it on
SoundCloud.
we use SoundCloud, but there's other sort of hosts available. Yeah, long story short, we now don't have anything coming out of our pocket.
Yep.
So it's win-win for everyone, really. We can now do this on behalf of TalkSport. Doesn't cost us anything, and you still get it for free.
Yeah.
That's the deal, basically.
But enough of that shit.
Yeah, let's talk about potentially getting liquidated.
Yeah, what a start. What a start to the
What a
series.
first episode under our new branding.
Oh, dearie me.
So, it is, at the time this goes out, at the time of recording, this is Sunday the 9th of July. We are in court on Wednesday the 12th of July, and the topic of that court case is now very, very concerning, because I can't remember exactly the exact date of the last court case.
It was about a month ago, wasn't
But
it?
it was about 4 to 6 weeks ago, and the general feeling was the only reason that court case got adjourned was because the wheels were in motion to sell the club. I remember Chris Phillips saying at the time that was the closest he'd felt to it, the plug getting pulled. He was like pretty, scared and worried that day. So with that being pretty public knowledge that the only reason we got that previous adjournment was because, well, Ron, you're trying to sell it. If we now get to the 12th of July and we haven't sold it, I'm very concerned.
I think the thing to remember there is that there must be some sort of proof there that it is going through the motions. I mean, well, that's probably all it is doing at the moment, but there's got to be something there to say that there is a deal in principle in place. Now, my issue with it being is that it seems like it's being stalled or delayed, or something's obviously up. There's something they can't agree on. Now, there's obviously got to come a breaking point where someone pulls out. It won't be Ron. It won't, he'll just say the offer's there, take it or leave it, so to speak. Well, that's my figure, take it or leave it. They can easily turn around now and say, you know what, stop this. That's kind of where my issue is.
Is it public knowledge what one of the hold-ups has been?
People seem to think it's to do with Fossett's Farm. So
It's not.
Which
It's
makes
not
sense.
to do with this amount of money that was discovered when Kimura were doing their due diligence.
I mean, potentially, I guess as well.
So I mean, can we talk about that? Is that?
I don't know if it's true in that sense.
I think. Well, do you know what?
I'm not at 100%.
I think
confirmed,
as long
so
as we say the word allegedly and we don't mention any amounts of money, are we covered?
I don't know. But what I'm saying is I don't know if that is a thing. I don't know if it is. It probably is holding it up as well. But that's what I'm saying. There seems to be so much, because it is such a big project or a big, it's not just the football club. It's then that development side of it. That's obviously the hold up. Because I'm assuming they're not going to want the 16,000 seat stadium with a load of flats on it. I'm assuming they'll want to say no. We want a 21 seat.
Well,
stadium.
they wanted it to go back to the original plans.
Yeah. Well, that is technically that is the plan at the moment, is it not? Technically.
Well,
speaking.
I don't know how long planning permission lasts.
That's what I'm saying.
Once you've got planning permission approved, but the planning permission for those original plans has been passed. Yes, it was some years ago, but those plans got passed.
Yeah, so
could that, in theory, if Kimura buy the club, they want to revert back to those original plans, is that in theory going to be quicker? Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's holding it up. To me, it's for once, it's one of them things you're like, do I believe? Well, what do I believe? You know, Chris's article earlier was horrendous reading, to be honest. You know, that's pretty. So, if we don't pay this full winding up order, which we won't,
and
so that won't be paid.
And these bills ain't cheap.
He's got to pay something, I guess. There's got to be something that gets given, because whilst they won't want to wind us up, if we just turn up with a piece of paper that says, sorry, no funds, but we're still being sold, is that enough?
So I don't think that at this point of proceedings and how every judge must just be sick of the sight of Ron, I don't see how that's enough.
Can't be, can it?
There needs to be some incredibly substantial and tangible proof that this sale is imminent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not going through, it'll happen when it happens. It needs to be imminent, and there needs to be some pretty solid proof that it is, or I am genuinely worried they might liquidate it, because if there is that,
you can't keep doing that, can you?
Exactly, because otherwise you just keep doing it.
Yeah,
of course, which he does.
Yeah, of course we're under the restrictions of obviously embargo and the 16 player limit and all that. But in theory, that means you can still run as a football club. In theory,
yeah, of
course you can. So you can't just keep doing that.
But
obviously that's a National League one. But what I'm saying is,
that's my point.
As long as say it gets adjourned, the National League can sort of say, well, you are still a running club, so we're not going to.
But this is a problem that I don't think a lot of people are aware of, and they need to wise up to this potential reality. There's a scenario on Wednesday where we don't pay anything, because if the club hasn't been sold by Wednesday,
it won't be sold by Wednesday.
It won't be sold by Wednesday, but Ron is not paying that. So the absolute best we can hope for on Wednesday is yet another adjournment. If that happens, there is now a very real possibility the National League kick us out.
Depends on what, again, kind of what I was saying earlier. What sort of proof is there of funds being available?
Because the National League might look at that now and go, well, you're still under an embargo, so you can't add to your squad. You can't even play trialists.
But that's their rules.
No, I know, but I'm saying, but you can't. You haven't got a squad, so how can you possibly start your season? You're out. We're kicking you out. You haven't got enough players.
That's the issue. It's all. I'm pretty sure you have to prove you can sustain it, but you can run for a year. So you have to have proof of funds of that. So technically, at the moment,
we won't have that,
because we're not paying.
We won't have that. We're already not paying.
Yeah.
Paying players, paying staff.
Yeah.
So we already haven't got proof of funds.
Yeah. I mean, Kev ain't even paid, man. Like the staff aren't being. So the actual footballing staff haven't been paid.
Yeah, not that it made it okay, but for so long we knew that the office staff weren't getting paid, which is a disgrace.
Of course it ain't okay.
We've gone over that a number of times, but we were kind of getting away with it a little bit. We were still, and what I mean by that is we were still performing reasonably well on the pitch because the players and the management staff were getting paid. Didn't take away from the shittiness of your office staff not getting paid, but we were still in a pretty good position in the league, and we were performing well because the players were getting paid.
Yeah.
Well, now that's stopped. Okay, we're led to believe now that the under contract players have been paid. So any players that are out of contract from last season that we would like to keep, that's a good way of good little sweetener trying to keep them. You're right, Jack. We'd love to keep you. You've not been paid.
You're not been paid, and we can't even offer you a deal anyway.
You can't even play in this friendly because you're technically a trialist.
Because you're out of contract. It's incredible, isn't it? It's mental, isn't it? But that's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure. So Johnny Gowans, I'm pretty sure hasn't been paid for 2. I don't know if that was it alluded to in that article that there was one member of staff that hadn't been paid for 2 months?
I think it was.
It
was alluded to. Yeah.
Well, I'm led to believe that's Johnny Gowans.
Obviously,
and I'm also
club physio for those that don't know.
And I'm also led to believe that he didn't turn up at the start of pre-season, which is fine. I wouldn't either. But so if your physio's not there, you're not going to be able to even. So even when they were training for that,
couple of days,
it was
3 at a push.
Surely you can't go full. You can't go away. You're going to have to draw that back a bit, aren't you?
Well, I mean, in fairness, I wouldn't expect the first day of pre-season to be full whack. But it's not the point. That's not the point. Yeah, if there is no presence of your club physio, then that certainly does limit you in what sort of session you can put on.
Yeah.
Especially the added danger of the state of that training pitch.
Yeah.
You might as well go to Priory Park.
Yeah, so that's obviously been neglected all summer.
It just looks abandoned, like
It's been-
everything else.
it's been neglected
Roots
all
Hall
summer.
looks abandoned. You drive past Roots Hall, it looks like we've already left.
Yeah, it does, isn't it? I mean, it's sad, isn't it? In the background here, we've got the Southend versus QPR game. We're beating 5-0.
We always do that because we can't sit in this room and not have the telly on.
Yeah. And Roots Hall looks the exact same. It looks better here in this.
Yeah, all the lights are working.
Yeah, it looks better, but in that sense, it's the exact same. You know, if that was in HD now, you could easily brag.
Oh yeah, the only difference is the quality of the footage.
Yeah, and obviously sponsors and stuff. But I mean, I'm pretty sure that Pucker Pie one is still there. That's why I used to sit. Do you know what I mean? Like,
and we've already seen the calamity goal when Simon Royce just shivs it against Lee Bradbury.
Yeah. So going back to that, so the players have now been paid, but they were /are striking. So when does that stop?
Where do you draw the line?
Where do do they go, because they've been paid now? Do they go back, or do they or do they say no? We're not going back actually now until all the staff are paid.
It's difficult because morally speaking, I'm sure they'd probably quite like to take that stand of no, you pay everyone, because players do have power.
But they are striking now in theory, so they still could.
Well, technically speaking, they are still striking. We don't know where they stand because they got paid on Saturday, and obviously we wouldn't train on a Saturday. So I guess the proof will be there tomorrow morning, Monday morning. Are they going back tomorrow?
You'd think so.
At the time of recording this, as I said earlier, it's a Sunday.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Are they back in tomorrow morning now they've been paid? You would like to think so.
But I guess it depends on if they're striking. Yeah, say if they're striking.
But are they going to take the stand of no, you pay the manager, no, you pay Benno and?
I think they
Ruby.
might. Actually, they might do that. They actually might.
I think they. Well, that's what I mean. Morally, I think they should.
I mean, what's he going to do? Sack him?
But it's where you stand in terms of breach of contract.
But what's he going to do? Sack him? Oh no.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you might as well run that risk.
I'm not going to name names. It helps me out in this particular instance because I don't know names. But I was led to believe by a reliable source last week. This is after the players started striking. So when was that? Tuesday they started striking.
Yes.
3 players who remain unnamed put in their notice at that point.
Yeah.
So straight away, what we said earlier, a little bit earlier on about you now face a very real possibility of the National League kicking you out because we've only got like 15, 16 players. We obviously can't add to that. Well, 3 of that number have put in their notice. So we could be, again, there's another real possibility that we're down to like 12, 13 players.
In theory, at that point, though, they can be given a new contract.
At what point, sorry?
Well, if we go below 16. So it's 16 players, isn't it, to cut off. So I guess in theory, I don't know, how many players we got at the moment? I don't know.
I don't actually know.
What's it, 20?
I don't think it's that many.
With the kids, I would have thought it'd be about 20. With like Croas and that, I would have thought it'd be about 20. I might be wrong.
So what do you have to do then in that sense?
Once you get to 16 or below 16, 16 is the sort of so that's their limit. They say you can have a squad of 16, which is a match day squad. So
imagine that. Imagine the size of a match day squad being the size of your squad for a season.
Your actual squad. But I mean, this. So yeah, it's not. Yeah, that's completely an untenable situation. You get kicked out of the league because if you can't pay players, as we said before about the whole, you have to provide proof of funds. If you're not paying people now, there's no proof, is there? Well, the proof there that you can't do it. So
yeah. See
you later.
Can you provide proof of funds? No, but I can provide proof that I've got no funds.
Yeah, and the next step below that is Isthmian Prem.
Yeah, so obviously National League South would still fall under the National League.
Yeah, the National League would kick you out.
Yeah. So the as Farmer's just said, the highest level we would then be. I mean, we might have to go lower, but the highest
they have to accept you in.
The highest level we would then be able to play at would be the Isthmian Prem.
Yeah. And that's to say they have to let you in.
Which is
22
two levels below where we currently are.
Yeah. So it's not that low in that sense.
There's already 22 teams in that league though, so and that's already been, the fixtures are probably done already for that.
I'd guess so.
So they probably wouldn't, because they'd look at that and they'd see pound signs like 2,500 Southend fans rock up at Carl Shorten. Herne Bay,
Bognor.
we'd be in a lower division than Aveley.
Yeah.
Anyway, but they could turn around and say no. We've done our constitution. We've got our league. The fixtures are out. It's too many. It's one too many teams. It's too many fixtures. They could say that. I don't think they would because of what I just.
I wonder what happened there then. Say they said no. What I mean, would every league say no at that point? I don't know.
Well, then,
would we not be able to play for a year? Do you know what I mean? I don't know how it works. It's complete foreign territory for me. I don't know.
Well, at that point, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we would then, as a byproduct of that, would we then have to liquidate anyway?
No, as long as you could.
We can't play for a year.
Yeah, I guess you'd go on a
sabbatical.
We'd have a gap year.
Go and find ourselves.
But yeah, so that's the possibility there of what's at stake, and that in a it's not obviously best case scenario, but it's a better case scenario than getting liquidated, isn't it?
Well, I think anything
anything
that keeps the club in business.
That's what I'm saying. How sad is that? There's a chance that that's not a bad option, it's one of the better options out there. Sorry, that's it's a bit sad, really. It's a bit sad. It's completely untenable situation for Ron. He's got surely he accepts this deal. But then again, in that we don't know what's been offered.
We don't know what the deal is.
Maybe in that sense, it is shit. It won't be because let's face it.
Well, he deserves shit.
No, but what I'm saying is he's selling a club at the moment is hemorrhaging money.
And
it's his own doing, by the way. But it's his own doing. But he's got no actual assets apart from a couple of players in contracted. So maybe
the better players are out of contract.
Have we breached their contract? What ones are leaving? I don't know.
We must have breached their contracts.
I'm led to believe that we won't see Louis Lamas again, put it that way. So
because he wasn't seen the training pictures that did go up.
Well, I think he's another one that
he was the only one that
even regardless of the situation, he might have been off anyway, by the sounds of it.
Right.
But I think now with what's going on, it's saying
he's going to get me out of this shit.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's not good. We're so close yet so far still in that sense. There's no point in Kev leaving.
So this is we briefly spoke about this before we started recording, and it's a bit of a weird conversation because it would be the scenario we're talking about is Kev walking away.
Yeah, it's the staff walking away.
And it's a very weird thought because surely you think on one hand, surely you wouldn't do it now because we've never been closer to being taken over. However, on the other hand, we've probably never been closer to being liquidated.
Yeah, it's
what a double-edged sword that is.
Such a strange place to be in. But we always joke about how it's always negative. But I mean, how can you even? Yeah,
I'd like to know. Anyone that listens to this, I'd like to know how you'd like us to be more positive.
No, forget that. I mean, you get some people that are so positive in life. How are you trying to stay positive in this scenario? I don't.
Because you've got nothing important in your life.
No, but it's not. It's obviously just blind faith in that sense. But is it a case of because you've got nothing?
You've got nothing else.
There's no other option there. No. It's like I've got. This has to work. I have to have
faith. It is that blind faith, and it's weird, really, because
Dave's obviously a very positive guy.
Yeah.
I don't reckon he'll be positive now. He'll be like, "Oh, we're fucked."
We should have got him on.
He'll be like, "Oh, we're done, mate."
So I phone him.
Yeah, get his live reaction.
I'll tell you what, we'll keep recording.
Get his live reaction to it.
I'm gonna WhatsApp him now.
But it's a crazy situation, crazy situation to be in. Players aren't even training. Well, they're doing their own stuff, or they're getting people involved, whatever. But they're not even training. Some teams are on their third pre-season friendly. I saw.
Yeah.
I think they're ones on tour. Don't get me wrong, but they're free friendlies in some of them, and we're not even training. Well, and I don't blame them, by the way. I'm on their side
because we've had to rearrange a friendly.
Oh, don't! It's one of the most embarrassing things that we've ever done. Through no fault of the club, just wrong. They had to do it. They actually, it was that or cancel it.
In fairness, we might as well just cancel it.
but do you know what I mean? It's so embarrassing. That is. We've had to postpone a friendly against Canvey Island because we can't put a team out.
But this is
what I'm saying. Tragic.
So there's
so tragic.
But there's absolutely no way that the National League's ears haven't perked up at that and gone, hang on, why?
Well, yeah.
And
They obviously know.
Yeah, but the alarm bells are there then, so they're thinking, hang on, mate.
You're cancelling friendly.
The season,
you can't even play friendly.
The season is meant to start in less than a month. 5th of August.
Jesus Christ.
The season's meant to start in less than a month. And we have had about 3 days pre-season training, and we've already had to rearrange a friendly, which will get cancelled. I'll be amazed if that friendly...
When is it? 2 weeks? 2 weeks from the original date?
It's been rearranged for the 25th, I think.
I think that's 2 weeks from the original date, isn't it?
Yeah. But whatever the next one's meant to
be... if it ain't sorted by then, it's game over. Maybe.
Whatever the next one is meant to be. So that Canvey game was whenever. The 11th? Was it? I can't remember.
Tuesdays, what's that?
Right, so the 11th. Whatever, I would then assume we are meant to have a game on Saturday, the 15th. That'll go. We ain't playing Saturday.
Well, I don't know if anyone else noticed it, but we're meant to be playing Bishop Stortford, aren't we? One of the games.
Yeah, and
they've got a game.
They've got a game that day.
So unless, I mean, don't get me wrong, they could cancel it. They could see playing us and go, okay, we can get more money out of that, or whatever. But at the moment, that is currently, that was a clash because they ground share with Enfield, didn't they? I think is it Enfield?
Yeah, it is.
The Enfield play at Bishop Stortford. That day, I think Bishop Stortford are playing away at Haringey, and Enfield are playing at home.
Yeah.
So that's 2 games there you've got to change if you're
then to move.
Which could happen. They might have done. Maybe it's happened. I don't know. But even that's ridiculous. I mean, that's 4 friendly. I'm not having you can't have a go at anyone at the club for this. But obviously, apart from forget him. But
yeah, he's typing.
The actual club, like you cannot have a go at the club for this.
No.
Because we've probably asked. Well, I would have reckoned we would have got for what? It would have been at least 6 friendlies, at least, wouldn't it? Normally, it's normally about 6, 7, isn't it?
What did we announce? 4 or 5?
4.
Yeah, that's not a lot.
We originally had one against Great Wakering put in, which I would have assumed would have been like the B team, if you like. That obviously got cancelled because we don't have a B team anymore.
Because I have heard as well. I won't name names, but in the last couple of years, that Wakering friendly has been a bit of a for fuck's sake. We've got to go.
Well, we've not had it.
We
didn't have it since Kev come in. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Right, so do your own workings out.
So
because not my words, we come out of that game with lumps kicked out of us. That is seen as a little bit of a cup final.
Well,
for Wakering,
and
we get players.
They're in the 16 now as well.
They've also been relegated, yeah. So,
which is in that sense, it's not that far from us, is it? But we also had one against Rising Boulders, which I assume would have been the under 18s. We don't have one anymore. So that got cancelled.
I mean, that would have to be, because if there was ever a fixture, Southern United versus Rising Boulders, I think I'm in the sea.
Here's one I haven't. I'm pretty sure the 3rd year scholars that obviously were released, they're owed 3 months' wages, I think.
Of course they will be.
Yeah, so that's that there. That's another one. So, well, not yet anyway. So that's another debt though. So that's another one. I don't mean to be rude here in that sense. Well, just being honest, it won't be a lot of money. Think about it. 3rd year scholars, there won't be a lot.
But you add it
3 months.
But you just add it to the list.
Add that up. It all adds up.
And the thing is,
we invited one of them back to pre-season. That's it.
Well, that's nice.
That's it. Because the rest have either left and got another club, or it was you probably would have been released anyway, sort of thing. But so that one we've invited back, well, it's not a waste of time, but he can't sign because you ain't going to sign him over Jack Bridge if he gets to that 16-man limit. It's crazy. I'll be amazed if Bridge and Ralph are here.
Yeah.
I'd be absolutely amazed. Before I was like, they'll still be here because they've been offered deals verbally, I believe. No, what's the point? Go get yourself another club. Just go. Jack Bridge can get a League 2 move. Ralph can probably get another. Well, he would get another club at this level, local. There's a lot of southern clubs this year. They'd be fine. They get interest elsewhere. Just leave. Yeah, do yourself a favour. Just leave. That's mental. I'm saying. I shouldn't be encouraging players to leave, but just for your own mental stability, just leave. It can't be good on you. It can't be good on them. Can't be. I'd hate it. But it's all on one man, isn't it? What else is there to say? I don't think
silence is deafening for me there, because I genuinely can't.
I don't think we start the season. I don't think it starts.
Do you want to know what I think?
I said this before. It must be on here. Well, I think it's on here. I said this before. I said I don't think we start this season.
Do you want my prediction?
Yeah, go on. What's your prediction?
For the whole rocking up at court on Wednesday.
I'm going to that, by the way.
From there, you're going to go?
Yeah, I'm meeting up with Custer Splat and Ortsea link up.
That little
All at Splat.
custard splat X.
All at Splat is.
All at Splat.
All at Splat.
Anyway, I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, I think it gets adjourned because I think there will be tangible proof that it's being sold and it's just going through the motions. You and I have both recently bought property. It's not a smooth process.
No, of course not. That's what I mean.
So buying a football club is not going to be a smooth process. No. But I think the proof will be there. I expect an adjournment, which doesn't help the footballing side of things because we will remain under an embargo. I'm not trying to be one of those people that like just wants to now strike fear into people. If anyone that knows me personally, they'll know that in previous court cases, I've had a little bit of an attitude towards it that might come across a bit blasé. That's like, oh, he'll pay it. Like, what are you worried about? Like, because he does always. But I don't like Ron, but he's always paid it. He's always found a way. That's not the case anymore, because, in more recent years he'll get an adjournment. That's what he's been doing. We know he's exhausted his final option now, which was putting the club up for sale. So we know he doesn't have the money anymore. The absolute best we can hope for is an adjournment, but I now do think we'll get kicked out of the league because we will remain under an embargo following the adjournment.
People might disagree with what I'm saying here. They might disagree entirely. I actually don't really give a shit what league we're in. I don't really.
No, I don't really.
It's depressing. The thought of, and it's no disrespect.
I'll
to
still
them.
be there. I don't.
No disrespect to these teams, but the thought of us playing away at Bognor Regis, for example, is actually grim.
Okay,
that's
maybe I won't be there.
that is crap. But if in the long term, well, short/medium term, really, it means Ron then goes, I don't really care. Because at that point you can hopefully start to, you can transform the club at that point. Sometimes you have to. Well, we've gone down 2 divisions, but I'd hope for our sake there's no more going down divisions. But sometimes you do have to go backwards to then go forwards, don't you? And that's a bit cliche.
We have gone backwards a lot.
That's what I'm saying. But like,
we're due a little bit of forward.
If that means that Ron's then gone, and even for argument's sake, it isn't this community lot. It's another lot that come in. I don't care who it is, as long as they're like decent owners, that they don't even have to put a lot in. I don't really care, as long as you can sustainably run the club. I don't care. I really, really don't care. I'm really surprised. I mean, well, maybe it has. Well, it was definitely a suggestion at one point. I think the first year we was down here, or the second year maybe, of what would it look like if we went part time. It was thrown out the window very quickly, but there was that sort of question of what if. Can the league step in and say you need to go part time? Because you clearly, I don't know.
Because you clearly can't afford it.
Because you clearly can't afford it.
I'm not sure, because there's a lot of football clubs out there that are living above their means. So I'm not sure they can step in and demand. Not demand,
but can they even go in and be like, look, if you want to remain as a club in this league, we're asking you to go part time.
I'm sure they can.
And
ask.
If you don't, because X, Y, and Z proof of funds isn't there, you can't play in this league. But if you go part time, so therefore you're cutting costs, blah blah blah, we maybe might let it slip. Because let's face it, they're already going. What's the word I'm looking for it? They're already letting us get away with it. If we were a small club, no disrespect to any, I'm going to name Bournemouth for example. If we were Bournemouth in this situation, they'd have kicked us out. They would have already kicked us out, because they've had their like is it like a club meeting or whatever where they've already had that. Was it their AGM, whatever it's called?
Yeah.
They've had that. And that's where we then got the extension to like, well, we'll let you off for time being. If we were Bournemouth or whatever, they would have said, nah, there you go. Because it wouldn't be a loss to them in that sense. Small club, don't really generate a lot. Because we're now going to be spending, especially now.
But do we generate a lot?
Well, fan-wise we do.
Well, I know we generate more than a Boreham Wood. But do we generate a lot?
It'll be a numbers game for them. They will not want to lose Southend United out of the National League. Going up, that's different. That's part. They won't want to kick Southend out of the National League.
Be a statement, though.
Be a statement, but they won't want to do it. But they are being left with little choice.
But that's like the court.
They've already extended that deadline. They shouldn't have done that.
A court won't want to liquidate it because all those unpaid staff never get their money. if it gets wound up, and nor do they, nor do the courts. So it's in their best interest. That's why he keeps getting adjournments, because it is in their best interest to do that, because that tells you at some point they will get their money. But everyone's got a breaking point, and you can't keep doing it.
But to what you're saying here, that's kind of what, going back to the point I said about 5 minutes ago, I would take playing in the Eastern Prem if it meant he was gone, because we can't keep doing this.
I've just put that question out on Twitter. I've put a poll.
Oh yeah, okay. Because we've already got relegated twice. We're only 2 levels above that. That's not a lot. That's the same as us going from League One to the National League.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. And I appreciate it's hard, and that's a hard thing to think about. You don't want to think of South United being a part-time at that point you're a non-league club. That's probably non-league.
Yeah,
that's playing non-league teams. Yeah.
Have you got the league? Should we get?
I've got the league.
The league there.
I've got the league because we've already sort of mentioned this offline, so to speak. It's crap. It is awful. I'll just name off some of the clubs: Bognor, Carl Shorten, Chatham, Concord, Cray Wanderers, Enfield Town, Folkestone Invicta, Haringey Borough. Hashtag can't play hashtag.
Oh no.
I can't. Oh no.
Oh no.
Change your mind.
The Wolfie Derby.
Ron in.
Not that Wolfie. Ron in.
You know.
I can't believe someone thought that was Steve Wolfendale.
That is hilarious, isn't it? That is hilarious.
Oh dear.
But yes, but let's say going back to that, because it's not sustainable under Ron. This isn't sustainable. If Ron is to stay, the club would at one point get liquidated because he can't run it. So he has to leave. That's why I would take going into that league to get rid of him. Because he has, because if he doesn't go, the club goes.
There is obviously a scenario as well where, like, we're not saying the only way we get rid of Ron is if we take that double relegation.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
There is another scenario where, like, we do.
But what I'm saying
somehow
is,
get sold before the start of the season, and we can still take our place in the National League. But
I just don't see how they keep us in the league now.
Well, unless
it's sold. I can't see it being sold before Wednesday.
We've said it. It's not getting sold before Wednesday.
I can't see it.
But we've said it a million times, sort of off air or whatever, off the record. If there was like if there was no court case,
you can take as long as you want.
I'd be quite chill about it.
Yeah, I couldn't care less.
But it's because we've got this court case coming up this week, and we know that the last one was this. You are on the thinnest of thin ice, Ron. This is
because they even made that point, didn't he, the judge? He made that point. He was like, you are so
on
close.
Thin ice.
Yeah.
Basically, I don't want to see you ever again.
Yeah.
If I see you again, you're going.
Yeah. And
we're in court again on Wednesday, and the sale hasn't gone through.
Yeah.
It's not looking good, bruv.
No, it's awful.
That might be the episode title.
It's horrendous. But So let's go back to that. I'm not saying the only scenario is Ron goes if we're in the Eastern Prem. I'm just saying if you actually said now,
he goes now,
but you take that, I'll be like to fucking do it.
Yeah, I think I probably would.
Because there's a chance at the moment we could get liquidated. I'm not up for that.
I'm
not up for that.
It's playing devil's advocate a little bit, isn't it?
People don't like the idea of a Phoenix club. Well, you should be all over my idea then, because that means there's no Phoenix club involved. Because he's out.
That's a great point. That's actually a great point.
Yeah, if you don't want a Phoenix club
that don't want the Phoenix club, they don't want that suggestion, and probably the one man in the world that doesn't want Ron Martin out would still find a way of fucking.
I'm gonna say one more time. I'm not saying it's perfect. It's crap. It's a horrible thought, but it was a horrible thought at the time of us playing in the National League, playing against Dorking, with all due respect to him, playing against whoever, Boreham Wood again. That was a horrible thought process. I'll be honest with you, it hasn't been that bad. Some of it's been crap. Some of it's been good. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. It's not that bad. Don't get me wrong, that's a lot worse going down to that level, but you'd like to think if we were in that level, we'd be there for 1 year, and you'd piss it. You'd like to think that. You'd piss it. And you'd like to think you'd then go up again in the National South.
Just interestingly, so I tweeted 6 minutes ago, if it meant getting rid of Ron, would you take the National League?
Live feed.
Kicking us out and we potentially play this season in the Isthmian Prem. There's been 80 votes. It's 50-50.
That's probably how I'd expect the split to be.
It's literally 50-50.
Yeah, that's probably how I would expect the split. But I just don't. I don't want that to be the choice here. But if it was, I'd think, oh fuck it, I'm taking that, because it's unsustainable now. Unfortunately, it's got to that point now where he's obviously run out of more. He's at least running out of money. He's obviously not got no money. He's still eating. He's heating his home up. He's turned the lights on. He's obviously got some money, but it's at the point now where it would probably affect him, and he's like, I ain't putting any more money in that club. Did you say this on air or off air? And it was like, can we say it? Well, we might as well say it. It's on Twitter. No, it's on Twitter. So Luke, the kit man, the old kit man, replied to the hardship fund.
That's it, yeah.
And I can't be asked getting the thing up, but it was based on the lines of, this is great that you're doing this. It's a shame that it's coming out the wrong pockets. This is the equivalent of someone selling their house, and now because they put it on the market, they've decided not to pay their mortgage, the electricity, the water, just because it's for sale. They've just neglected everything, and that's so true. That's such a great analogy for that. It's perfect. He's always been shit with payments. We know that, when cash flow's obviously been an issue. I've almost got used to it. Yeah. It's not correct. But when there was that occasional that players haven't been paid today, there was that. Well, they'll probably be paid in a couple of days. Yeah. It's not right, but you come accustomed to it. He's not paying anything now, really. Well, he's paid the players, but he's only doing that to protect an asset.
But he hasn't. Like, everything, any bill has not been paid for. I don't even want to know how long. I don't even want to know. Like, the stadium's falling to pieces. Like, it's just sad.
It's awful, isn't
it? It is just a sad state of affairs that we can't go anywhere but backwards with this bloke still in. Yeah. We cannot go anywhere but backwards.
Yeah, that's my issue. That's why he has to go regardless. But the thing is, here's another way of looking at it. So if he's not to, I say we don't know where the deal is at. It's obviously a deal in principle. So there's obviously a figure in place, which I'm assuming is now. I'm assuming that figure is getting lower and lower when more things are being uncovered through the DD. So
yeah, because that was.
Which is fine. That's business. That's how it works.
Yeah, but that's so. Yeah, there was a situation a week and a half ago, maybe a little bit longer, where offer's been accepted from Kimura, and they were doing their due diligence. They unearthed something. I won't say the amount because it might not be right, but they unearthed something that had been, Ron or his lawyers or whoever had tried to bury. They've asked, "What's this? You didn't tell us about this. It's not pocket money either." And I would imagine at that point they say, "Okay, that's fine, but we're now reducing our offer by that amount," and Ron hasn't budged.
Yeah, that's what I guess it's at.
Yeah,
but. So he's holding his nerve on that. He's saying, no, I want X, Y, and Z. In a way, he's in his right to do it. He's a twat for doing it, but he can do it.
He's just a twat, so you might as well leave it.
He owns it, whatever. But if we get kicked out of it, say what the scenario you said is he gets adjourned and we get kicked out of the league. Well, that club is now worth a lot less.
Yeah,
it's a lot less.
It's worth nothing.
So does he? I mean, he's still it's a lot of money he's probably going to get out of this. Does he just accept it now, or does he get to Tuesday and go, fuck it, I'll accept it?
Well, he's always at the 11th hour.
That's what I'm saying. Does he go?
It'd be Wednesday morning, wouldn't it?
Does he go as late as he can just to see if they budge, and then he goes, I'll have that?
Because this is pure speculation. I would imagine there has to be something in place that, because Kimura ain't going to wait forever. I'm not even sure I'm saying that word right, by the way. They're not going to wait forever. So do they?
Is that you say it, by the way?
Kimura?
Kimura? I don't know.
Anyway, is there a scenario because they're not going to have that offer on the table forever? Have they said to potentially?
There's got to be a deadline, isn't there?
Exactly. Have they said to Ron that's only on the table till midnight on Tuesday?
There's the rumour that it's on the table until Wednesday morning.
Well, there we go then.
That's the rumour.
I didn't even know that.
That's the rumour. I don't know.
Well, it makes perfect sense, but it's not going to last forever.
Yeah, I don't know how true it is. It's so much.
Because they'll know full well that if he walks into that courtroom on Wednesday and says nothing's changed since the last time I spoke to you, he's dead.
Yeah, because that's going in circles a bit here, but that's the problem with it. But surely there's a point. If nothing's changed, regardless of an offer being on the table, whatever, that's not enough, is it?
That's not enough.
Because at that point, what would be the point in going of saying, yeah, we'll see you next month?
Oh, it can't be
to them to go, we'll see you again.
And he rocks up in a month again.
Yeah, what's the point?
Same thing.
Yeah, what's the point? There has to be.
There needs to be some significant evidence on Wednesday that he is selling it. Or I'm very, very worried that we're either going to.
Well, the evidence is there.
That we're either going to be liquidated there and then.
But the evidence is there in theory because obviously the club is up for sale.
How bad is this? That I'm going to say this.
Go on.
We either get liquidated. That's of course always going to be the worst case scenario, or the best case scenario is we might get kicked out of the league.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's not the best, but that's potentially one of the better options here.
Fuck me.
Because we might get kicked out of the league. And as we were saying before, and even you said it, it's like, I don't know how it works. We might not be let in the league. Or say they might go, no, the cut-off was here. Unfortunately, you missed it. I don't know how it works.
We're saying...
I don't know how it works.
I would find it hard to believe that someone like the Isthmian League would say no.
But I guess it depends on how set they are already.
So having an odd number of teams in it would have to be an odd number, clearly. But then it would also be a case of, well, why should we do you any favours?
That's what I'm saying. It's like we're set here.
But it's money, and that's going to talk. Because those clubs you mentioned there, Carshalton, Herne Bay, hashtag, I can't believe I just said that. Like, 2,000 Southend fans rock up at Bowers and Pittsfield. Oh, they're playing at Abbey this year, aren't they?
No, I don't know, are they?
Oh, whatever. But 2,000 Southend fans rock up at wherever we're playing. That's money for the league.
Mm. Yeah,
so it's not as straightforward as saying, "Oh, can we come in because we've been kicked out?" There would be pound signs there for them.
But they're actually you never know. There actually might be something in place that says once you go past the date, it could be like say the 1st of July. Mm-hmm. That no, it's cut off now. You've missed it. You're gonna have to reapply next year for an entry into. Because I'm assuming that's how it would work. You'd have to because you apply for entry, didn't you? At that point.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming we'd apply for the entry. You used to
have to do that anyway.
Well, I think you technically speaking, you do, and that's why you have to provide like a proof of funds and stuff.
No.
Technically speaking, it might not be that, but do you know what I mean? Technically speaking, yeah. What a depressing listen this is going to be.
This is our first one.
Jesus Christ!
Of like our little new era, and we're talking about. We're still talking about potentially getting liquidated. We're still talking about Ron Martin. We're still fucking talking about players and staff not getting paid. I'm going to go off on a tangent. Can we still swear on this? But a bit late for asking that now, isn't it? I'm fucking fed up with this. I am fed up of talking about the same shit for the last 4 years. Players not getting paid, staff not getting paid, Ron Martin just being a general twat. I'm sick of the whole thing. Just sell the club and fuck off. Mate. That's me done. I'm out. That's my mic drop. I'm fed up.
Staff
I'm
not
so
being
fed up.
paid for 4 months.
It's disgusting.
4 months. That in itself is crazy. It doesn't matter if this person or these people work 2 hours a week or whatever. 4 months without being paid. It's disgraceful behaviour. Disgraceful behaviour. It's incredible. Genuinely incredible. But yeah. Happy listening to that.
Oh, I'm getting up. I'm moving, everyone.
Happy listening to that.
I'm getting another sweetie.
Oh.
You can talk for a bit while I crunch this.
Well, I don't know what else there is to talk about. Because you can't talk about... There's no point in me going, oh yeah, great, we got Oldham at home first game of the season. There's no point in talking about
No, there's not.
There is no point in talking about that. Complete wasted energy at that point. Yeah, I don't honestly don't know what to say. There's nothing else to talk about. The takeover doesn't go through soon, we're screwed. Completely screwed. You know, I think that's it's the realest it's ever been. It's the realest it's ever been. Certainly the closest. You know, it's scary. It's a scary thought. That Chris's article was awful. Was awful.
Oh, let's see if...
I'm going to read it.
Dave was typing one. Let's see what Dave said.
Oh, yeah, go on. I'm going to read that article for those who haven't read it.
His first... Here we are. Way to ruin a vibe.
Go on, what's he said?
I can't be positive if Ron Martin is involved in it. I'm not even getting a season ticket this season. I didn't go once last season. I'm done until he isn't there or gets someone serious involved. If it wasn't for him, we'd probably be League 2 this season. Martin out. Had a season ticket since I was 7 years old. Probably missed 10 home games in that time before last season. The main reason I hate him is because he didn't know what the Custard Splat podcast was, and that is the most unforgivable thing up the splat. That is someone, right, for anyone that doesn't know,
the most positive person.
The most positive man you'll ever meet.
Yeah. He'll find the good in anyone and anything.
He will literally find the tiniest slither of positivity in anything.
And try to work on that.
And that's what he's just said.
Yeah. I'll read Chris's article for those who ain't read it. So, it's Southend United's contracted players have now been paid for June, but fears remain for the future of the football club. The Shrimpers squad did not train together last week as they waited for their wages, and their friendly at Canvey Island, which was originally due to take place on Tuesday, has now been put back to July the 25th. However, it was only the players who got paid, and the majority of office staff at Rootsall are now waiting for 3 months' money, while some are waiting for 4. Boss Kevin Mayer and his backroom team have yet to be paid for June, while others he works alongside have not been paid for 2 months, and have now opted to stay away from Boots and Laces, which may leave the squad without medical treatment should they opt to return this week.
So that's the one that's alluding to John Gallagher.
The Cash-strapped club are deep in crisis, but controversial chairman Ron Martin remains in talks with the community group to sell the Shrimpers. Discussions continue, but it is understood the deal is being held up by the stadium side of the transaction. However, Kimura's deal is believed to only be on the table it's on this article until Wednesday, when the Shrimpers are back in court following a winding up petition from HMRC. Blues appeared in the Specialist Court for the initial hearing back in May and were given until July 12th to pay off the $250,000 debt. The situation is being closely followed by the National League, and it is understood the Shrimpers must pay off all debts to football creditors, which includes their own staff, if they are to remain in the 5th tier of English football next season. Kimura declines to comment when approached by Echo Sport, while Ron Martin and the National League did not respond. But, so that's there in black and white. Okay, you know, Chris is quite a clued up guy. I trust that that's correct.
Yeah.
So there in black and white is if we do not pay 250. I'm assuming. Well, no, actually no. It's what is it? The 250 grand as well. So 250 grand HMRC debt and all the football creditors' debts, which includes the staff. If we don't do that, we're out the league. And that be with Ron Martin here still.
I think we're out then. I honestly think we're out the league.
Let me read that one more time.
Yeah, go on.
The situation is being closely followed by the National League, and it's understood the Shrimpers must pay off all debts to football creditors, which includes their own staff, if they are to remain in the 5th tier of English football next season. So is that by Wednesday, or have they got another? Have they given us the deadline? Say on Friday?
Yeah, that's not.
Because in fairness, that could be.
But why would you give him longer?
I don't know. Well, it's what I alluded to earlier. I think the National League is saying we don't want to kick you out. Please get this sorted.
But you're taking the piss.
But there has to be, again, what we're saying with HMRC, there has to be a point where you go, I'm sorry, you can't keep doing this. Mm-hmm. Regardless of what you give me every month, you can't, or whatever it is, you can't keep doing this. I think your prediction is actually probably right. We get it adjourned because there'll be some form of evidence in place, or he might even pay 50 grand. He might say, I'll give you 50 grand, so it'll be adjourned again. Well, because he ain't going to pay the staff then, is he?
No. So we're out.
So we'll probably be kicked out of the league at that point.
Fucking hell.
Unless I'm just being incredibly pessimistic.
I don't think so. Well, sorry, I thought you were going to say, unless I'm reading that wrong.
No, I'm just saying, I might just be, it might have, you know,
no,
life been sucked out of me so much that I'm just being pessimistic at everything.
I don't think so.
But that,
I
to
think
me...
I don't know how you're meant to see any positive...
That, to me, says, if we've not paid all our football creditors, including staff, which is some of 4 months, then we're kicked out of the league. So football staff would include Tom, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's probably the one that's owed 4 months. I'd assume it's him.
So surely the only way we can, completely pay that off is if a takeover goes through.
Yeah.
Because a takeover, because we've just, to summarise, Southend United Football Club is absolutely worthless. You're buying the debt. Ron Martin gets £1.
Or whatever.
Or whatever it is.
We don't know in that sense, but we're just guessing.
You're buying the debt, which is a lot. Let's just say that. So it's a lot.
Well, it's 25 mil, he said. £1 million every year.
Yeah. It's slightly more. Yeah. It's slightly
That's
more.
That's what
than
he
that.
said.
Yeah.
So
do your own maths. If Ron's telling you it's £1 million a year, he's been here the best part of 30 years. The majority of those 30 years have been crap, and we've not been running
financially anyway.
Yeah, we've not been.
Forget the football side. We actually have had some good times.
But even we just said here, we're sitting watching the QPR game from 2007. We were being run as a shit business even here.
Yeah.
But the team was successful.
Yeah. So you get away with it, don't you? Really.
Yeah, you do. It papers over the cracks.
Yeah. I just can't. I can't remain positive on it. Not remain positive. I can't think of anything that gives me any hope. The only hope we have is, as you said, the deal. It's officially agreed. It might not have gone through by Wednesday, obviously, but it's officially agreed. And he turns up at that call and says, "Look, I haven't got the money, but there it is in black and white. There's a contract there. I've signed it. They've signed it. It's going through on X, Y,
just
Z
needs to be like
ratified, whatever, by the league or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I think that's
went out my.
That would surely qualify as, substantial evidence.
And at that point again, the league probably go, okay, it's there in black and white. We can see it's being sold now.
Yeah.
Great, it's done.
You're still under embargo until it is done.
Until it is done, yeah. So at that point, I wouldn't really care because when it's there in black and white, whatever.
Yeah.
But
maybe we are just so used to the bad news.
No, but I think anyone is. I don't see how anyone in this situation isn't shitting themselves. They have to be.
No, that's a good way of putting it. I'm man enough to admit I'm shitting myself.
That article from Chris is terrifying.
Mm.
If we don't go bust, which of course you don't want,
we'll get kicked out of the league.
You could get kicked out of the league. Oh, great.
So either way, we lose.
Yeah, we lose it. We're losing. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm going to end it on a positive somehow.
Go on.
My prediction.
Okay, go on.
I wouldn't bet on it, but I'm trying to spin this positively.
Go on.
That it's what I said. We get to Wednesday, the call, and he turns up and goes, "There's a draft or whatever. There's proof of the sale will go through. Just for argument's sake, Friday. It'll be longer than that, but whatever. There it is. I haven't paid it, so yeah, we'll still under whatever it is, the embargo and stuff, but it's sold, subject to whatever. It's done. And then give it 2 weeks. All right, with delay, the season will be a write-off, but we're a football club again. We've got a future there. That's how I'm going to end it. That's my prediction that I'm so confident of happening that I'm not going to bet on it.
You wouldn't even bet a fiver on it.
No, I'd bet your one.
So that's Eden's prediction. I'll just go over mine again really quickly. I think the court case gets adjourned because there will. I believe you. I'm with you. There will be some sort of proof that the sale's going through. The court case gets adjourned, but because we're now getting very close to the start of the season, I think the National League say see you later.
Mm. Yeah, that's better than going bust. So
yeah.
So still a club,
but
still a club to follow.
It's not a lot to go on, is it?
Don't get me wrong. Like I said, it'd be hard to watch it, but it's still a club, isn't it? So sweet.
Sweet.
Just quickly, actually, I want to make a point of the trust set up. We obviously
that's a good idea.
The hardship fund. I think that's a really good idea. That is.
That's a good idea.
Because
it's a good idea you bringing it up.
This doesn't let Ron Martin get away with it. This is a hardship fund that goes straight to these. This isn't what we've done before. Or what the trust set up before in terms of the Just Giving.
Yeah.
This is completely different. This is something that members of staff can apply for, in confidence, no names are shared, and apply for a grant if you like. It's pretty much what it is. It's like a grant. It doesn't let Ron get away with it, but it helps them because these people obviously they need help at the moment. We don't know these people's situation, but there could be a couple of people in there.
Got kids.
Kids, mortgage, and they think, what do I do here then? Don't get me wrong, you could say you just leave, but you're owed money, so then, it's hard. It's what do you do? It's easier said than that. Don't get me wrong, I believe I would have been off straight away. That's just me personally.
Oh, I'm the same. Because especially if you've got children, I don't see how you can afford to sit there for that length of time.
But I just think in that football world, it is just different. It's a different, it's not a normal job. Even if you are whoever, it doesn't matter. It's just a different world. It's such a great field to work in. No matter what part of the club or whatever you are, it must be so great say you work for a football club.
Yeah, I'm sure it is, but I want to get paid for it.
Oh yeah, of course. But do you know what I mean? I think it's easier said than done to sort of leave. But regardless, people who work at that club, they support the club. They're fans. It's people's friends, people's family, and they need support. And I don't know how much has been raised so far, how much is in that fund, but I just think that it shows when, in times of need, people do get together and help each other out. So let's just hope that people are. Well, in that sense, it's like that no one has to use it. But I'm sure there's going to be a couple that will be like, I've got to apply for this because I can't do this anymore. It's sad, but at least it's that's now there to help them. So fair play for the trust for setting that up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good work's gone into that, so fair play to them. Slightly positive ways in, I guess, in a weird way. Not really, is it? You're talking about people not being paid. It's not really fucking positive, is it?
But someone's done something nice.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we'll find a little Dave-ism in that.
Yeah. But gonna wrap it up there, I think.
Yeah, I think
we're gonna try and keep it to an hour. I think it's about an hour, isn't it?
Hour and 2.
Yeah. So we'll keep it to about that.
Yeah,
But
you'll notice that we don't really edit these. So
well, I'm going to start doing it now, aren't I? So because I've got all the gear and no idea literally. So, but I'm going to try and edit these down. So over about an hour. Going to try and do them once a week now.
I think an hour's long enough to listen to us, isn't it?
Yeah, our dulcet tones. Cheers for listening. If you've got any words of wisdom for us to try and cheer up, then let us know. I doubt it, just because obviously it's a big deal. But hopefully, if we do this next week, it's positive, or at least at least we're okay.
We are going to do weekly updates now, don't we?
Yeah. So let's just hope this time next week we're okay and we're not a leagueless team. Or worst case, not a team, not club, but yeah. Let's just hope that.
God, what are you going to hear next time we speak?
Well, I mean, if we're liquidated, there won't be one, will there? So there you go.
I know, we'll have to do
this could be the last one.
No, we'll have to do a little closing party.
Just getting pissed up, talking about your favourite moments of Southend. We'll do a live Zoom, there you go.
One of my favourite, regardless of if we go bust or not, one of my favourite South United moments was seeing Ron Martin squirm when he announced that he was still in the club. He was all flustered, he was shitting himself, he was shaking, he was stuttering. I got off on that. See you later.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.